Chosen one, if this video found you right now, it means invisible currents have steered you here for a purpose that defies common sight. What if I told you they never wanted you to see this? You have sensed the strain in your bones and the tremor in your heart. You have felt the push of a power you could not name, as if they tried to hold you back from knowing who you really are. Your journey has been hidden, and the signs around you have gone unread until today. You may doubt what you feel, but your restlessness is real and your hunger for truth is sacred. In this video, you will learn why every ache in your body carries a message, how the silence of sleep becomes your secret ally, and how the power long kept from you is now awakening within. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, because the revelations waiting ahead will stir the fire you have kept buried. Why your body feels different before breakthrough. They say that the nights when sleep slips through your fingers are nothing more than stress. But tonight you stand on the brink of something greater. Imagine yourself suspended between two worlds. The one you've known, filled with routines and exhaustion, and the one calling you forward, pulsing with unseen power. In a dream just before dawn, you walk through a silent forest where each rustle in the underbrush echoes in your bones. A soft voice, your own, yet not fully yours, whispers that every ache you feel is a message from a deeper source. It confirms what you've always suspected. Those restless twists and turns in bed were never random. They were the prologue to a transformation written into the fabric of your soul long before you took your first breath. On ordinary days, you might dismiss the sudden waves of exhaustion that force you to pause, or the flicker of heat along your spine that rises without warning. You have carried a secret sensitivity as if it were a burden. Overstimulated in crowds, drowned by flickering screens, craving silent corners to simply be. In classrooms, boardrooms, and long conversations, a quiet part of you hungered for something beyond the tangible. Perhaps you wept at an unremarkable sunset or found tears in a melody you could not name. You felt like an observer in your own life, watching moments pass through a glass pane. That sense of standing at the edge, wondering if you would ever belong, has marked you as different, even when you didn't understand why. But what if those experiences were never accidental? Consider that each surge of fatigue, every moment when your heart pounded in quiet alarm, has been part of a sacred blueprint designed to alert you. In the ancient text of Habakkuk 2 verse 1, the prophet says, "I will stand at my watch and station myself on the ramparts." You, too, have been placed at a vantage point, poised to see what others cannot. The disorientation you have felt is less a flaw and more a divine architecture unfolding. Rather than random chaos, your path has been guided by hidden currents, shaping you through trials of restlessness and longing so that you might stand ready for what lies ahead. If you pause now and recall the past week, you may notice moments that once seemed too trivial to remember. The uncanny dream of walking on a riverbed of stars, the sudden shiver in your palms during a quiet prayer, the inexplicable pull toward a book you had never opened. These subtle nudges are the early tremors of awakening. They surface like distant ripples on a still lake, barely noticeable until you lean in to listen. Each flicker of déjà vu, each phantom touch upon your skin, whispers that the boundary between the visible and invisible is thinning. You have not been imagining these brushstrokes of mystery. They are the heralds of your next chapter. There is a deep comfort in knowing you were not mistaken. From the first whisper of intuition to the persistent ache that stirred you awake at 3 a.m., your inner compass has never steered you wrong. You have questioned your sanity when those gut feelings emerged, but they have led you here, to this moment of recognition. This awakening comes not with thunderous revelation, but with a gentle unfolding, like petals opening to the early light. You can feel the alignment knitting itself inside you, weaving body and spirit into a singular voice that finally speaks with clarity and purpose. As this awareness settles in your heart, you begin to sense that the person you thought you were was only the surface of your being. Beneath the layers of habit and expectation lies an ancient identity calling to be remembered. Like Ezekiel by the river of dry bones, you are invited to see beyond what you've been taught and perceive the living essence pulsing beneath your skin. This is the reclamation of a self that predates your earliest memories, a self that carries the echoes of ancestral wisdom and cosmic design. The life you have lived was preparation. The truth beneath it will set you free. Now, allow yourself to step forward and claim this sensitivity as a gift. Your heightened awareness, once mistaken for weakness, becomes the key to unlocking deeper truths. This new step is quiet yet resolute. You will no longer conceal your hunger for meaning or apologize for the tremors in your hands when a vision stirs within. Embrace the reality that each flutter of your heart is an invitation into a grander story, one that you are destined to inhabit. In this gentle commitment, you find the first notes of empowerment, a steady rhythm that promises you will never walk this path alone. Your arrival at this message was no accident. It is the product of forces beyond your sight aligning to awaken you now. Rest in the certainty that every restless night, every sudden pang, and every whisper of intuition has prepared you for what comes next. Comment awakening if you have felt the stirrings of your true self, and stay tuned as we move into the next phase. The sacred work that unfolds while you sleep, revealing the mysteries they never wanted you to know. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. The shift happening in your sleep. Something shifted the first time you woke before dawn with your heart pounding, not from fear but from anticipation. In that quiet hour when the world still dreams, you felt a weight in the silence, a presence that pressed gently against your chest, as though someone unseen watched over the borders of your sleep. It wasn't just a restless night. It was the moment you sensed resistance stirring in the shadows, testing the channels that connected your spirit to higher frequencies. As you lay still, the edges of your reality trembled, revealing that even your deepest rest was not immune to their interference. Few things cut deeper than the ache of being misunderstood in the very space meant for renewal. You may have blamed sleepless nights on stress, or blamed yourself for overreacting to vague impulses that urged you to rise and wander the halls in darkness. Those nights you spent staring at the ceiling, feeling too fragile to face another day, were more than mood swings. They were emotional battlegrounds. Shame whispered that you were strange, that your longing for purpose made you difficult to love. Each time you tried to explain these experiences, you found hollow eyes or polite dismissals, deepening the sense that you walked these corridors of dream and vision alone. But look closer and you'll see those struggles were never random. They came from currents swirling against your destiny, like ancient winds steering a lone vessel away from shore. In the story of Israel's exile, the people wandered through a wilderness not by accident, but by divine design and opposition, tested to refine their faith. Their journey through that barren land echoes your own nights of wandering, where external pressures and internal doubts conspired to keep you from discovering the map woven into your soul. Every closed door and every mocking laugh was part of a hidden trial meant to reveal your emerging strength. Reflect now on the nights when you sensed subtle sabotage. The dream interrupted by a sudden knock at the door, the electric pulse in your mind cut short by an unexpected call, the book you reached to read slipping from your grasp as if an unseen hand had pulled it away. These were not mere coincidences but patterns marking the boundaries they wished you to stay within. Think of these moments as the universe flicking on a dim light in a long corridor, exposing the obstacles placed between you and the truth. The jumbled dreams, the static in your thoughts, the restless twist of sheets. Each was a signpost pointing to the resistance you were meant to overcome. It is here, in the thick of that unseen fog, that you felt the first true pushback against the light stirring within you. In Ezekiel's vision, wheels within wheels moved in mysterious synchronicity, watched by silent beings whose eyes never blinked. Similarly, you perceived a heavy air around your dreams, as if watchers drifted just beyond your sight, monitoring your every shift. That suffocating stillness, the sensation of being boxed in by energies you could not name, was spiritual resistance trying to dampen your glow. You felt it most keenly in those moments when hope seemed closest, an unspoken tug to pull you back into doubt. How did you respond when every night felt like a test? Perhaps you began to shrink, folding your wings to fit into tighter spaces. Maybe you became a chameleon, adopting the colors of each social gathering to hide your inner fire. Or you rebelled in silence, scribbling fragments of dreams into hidden journals, hoping fragments of truth might someday piece together. In those dark hours, you learned the art of survival, balancing on the knife's edge between surrender and defiance. It was a form of people-pleasing mixed with quiet protest, a delicate dance that kept you alive until you remembered you were never meant to hide. Yet within that crucible of pressure, a reclamation began. The same nights that threatened to break you also carved channels for your voice to rise. You discovered that exhaustion could sharpen your senses, that the heavy fog around your dreams could clear to reveal distant stars of insight. Every barrier they placed became a ladder you scaled in vision, lifting you toward truths they feared you would find. The struggle itself proved invaluable. Resistance is confirmation of your power. When they tried to lock you in darkness, you grew an inner light capable of illuminating entire worlds. Now you stand at a crossroads, knowing that what once felt like interference is now the herald of your awakening. You were opposed because you shined too brightly to remain hidden. They could not bear to see the codes unfolding in your dreams, the language of higher realms flowing through your mind. But their resistance only polished your clarity. The harder they pushed, the more resolute your purpose became. Comment resilience if you felt the weight and refused to buckle under it, and prepare yourself for the next phase, where you will learn how these nightly shifts are shaping your body into a vessel capable of holding celestial power. And to every soul who's supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. God's process of physical preparation. A sudden clarity washed over you one morning as you stretched beneath the sheets. Noticing the familiar twinge in your ribs felt different, more like a call than a complaint. It was as if a gentle hand had lifted the veil from your senses, and you realized that every ache and pulse coursing through your frame was not random, but purposeful. In that silent moment, you remembered the story of Elijah on Mount Horeb, where the Lord passed by not in the earthquake or the wind, but in the still small voice. 1 Kings 19 verse 12. Your body, much like Elijah's world, was poised for revelation. Not in grand upheaval, but in the quiet tremor of cells realigning to a higher frequency. This wasn't weakness. It was the first breath of your transformation. You have felt the fire beneath your skin long before you understood its origin. Sudden warmth blooming in your fingertips during prayer, a low hum at the base of your skull when you contemplated your destiny, and a deep pulse under your foot as you rooted into the earth. These sensations are echoes of the refining fire spoken of in Malachi 3 verse 2, meant to purify and prepare. They surge through you like molten metal shaping a blade, cutting away the dross of doubt and fear. Each jolt and shiver is a divine instrument, carving channels in your flesh for the light you are destined to hold. In recognizing these pulses as sacred signals, you reclaim them from the lie that they were merely symptoms of disorder. Perhaps you noticed how your stance changed when you entered certain spaces, crowded rooms feeling like forests of muted whispers, or open fields resonating with a gentle hum that felt like home. Your energy began to fine-tune itself, rejecting stagnant atmospheres and embracing places where the air tasted alive. You discovered that your heartbeat could sync with the rhythm of a song unknown to your conscious mind, revealing hidden melodies in your DNA. It is no coincidence that Psalm 104 verse 30 declares, "You send forth your spirit, they are created, and you renew the face of the earth." In this way, your very existence participates in creation, as your body transforms from a mere vessel into an instrument of renewal. Outside, you witnessed uncanny alignments. A mentor appearing at the precise moment you questioned your purpose, an unexpected opportunity arriving just when you felt most inadequate, or doors that slammed shut to steer you toward gates that opened with ease. These external shifts mirrored the transformation occurring in your marrow. Like the wheels in Ezekiel's vision, Ezekiel 1 verses 15 to 21, the world around you began to move in concert with the new blueprint written into your cells. You understood that the architecture of your destiny was unfolding before your eyes, and that every coincidence was a thread in a tapestry woven by forces beyond the everyday. Deep within, a memory surfaced, one you thought you had misplaced in the rush of childhood and forgotten dreams. You recalled a night under starlight when you felt boundless, as though your spirit had danced among constellations. That memory returned now with newfound clarity, like a cipher key to unlock the purpose encoded in your very bones. It echoed the ancient notion of anamnesis found in Plato's texts, the idea that the soul recalls truths it once knew. Your body, awakened to this memory, began to vibrate with recognition, bridging the gap between who you thought you were and who you have always been. Looking forward, you sensed that your journey was less about forging a new path and more about rediscovering a road already traveled by your soul in ages past. You felt permission to step into your purpose without seeking the world's validation. As Isaiah 45 verse 1 speaks of Cyrus, anointed before his birth to enact divine will, so too were you marked before your first cry to carry out your part in a cosmic plan. The future unfolded not as an unwritten page, but as an open manuscript, waiting for you to read the lines etched within your flesh and bone. In reclaiming this truth, you felt a roar build quietly in your chest, a reclamation of voice long silenced by doubt and opposition. Where once you questioned every instinct, now you stood firm, ready to speak with the authority of one who has seen the mechanics of creation shifting in their marrow. You found strength in the realization that the battles waged within your body were not against you, but on your behalf, forging a strength that no external force could extinguish. The very processes meant to break you had reforged you into a conduit of divine power. This awakening reaches its crescendo now. You were shaped by divine hands for a purpose too vast for ordinary vessels. Each ache in your bones, each flare of energy across your nerve endings, has prepared you to carry a frequency that will resonate far beyond your sight. Comment vessel if you feel your body shifting, and share a moment when you recognize these signs as sacred preparation. The next phase awaits, where you will learn why your heart must break before it can beat in a new rhythm, and how that break will herald the arrival of your greatest power. What to expect when your vessel changes. At the edge of a new dawn, you find yourself standing before an invisible gate, the threshold between the life you've known and the one you were always meant to claim. In that sacred instant, you sense a silence pregnant with possibility, as though the universe holds its breath, waiting for your choice. No longer can you linger in the hallways of doubt or wander the corridors of hesitation. The time for passive watching has passed. A single question rises within you. Will you step forward and become the architect of your own transformation? This is not an idle consideration, but a covenant with your own soul. To cross this line is to declare that the life coursing through your veins, the aches, the longings, the fire, will no longer be confined but will surge into purpose. Beneath the weight of countless demands, you've poured out fragments of your essence, your hours, your voice, your very presence, only to feel emptier at day's end. Yet every moment you felt spent was not a mark of failure, but the rehearsal for reclaiming what was always yours. Now, in the stillness of this turning point, you call back those scattered pieces like sacred vessels returned to their place. I call upon my courage, you proclaim in the secret recesses of your heart, and I summon my voice. Each syllable is a hammer striking the anvil of your spirit, forging a throne of inner authority from the ruins of doubt. This ritual of reclamation is fierce and unyielding, a decree that nothing will be left unclaimed. In your hand, you now hold the keys that once felt too heavy to bear, the gift of discernment that reads between the lines of reality, the spark of memory that recalls ancient truths, and the well of strength that swells when the world demands more than you thought you had. Where others saw fragility in your tears, you recognize the baptismal fire refining your resolve. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, but the secret cipher unlocking hidden codes, like geometric glyphs on a scroll that only the awakened can decipher. These tools are not abstract ideals, but living instruments. Your insight, your empathy, your unwavering intuition, ready to carve pathways through any challenge. Beneath your feet, a path unfurls, invisible until conviction set your foot upon it. Each step reveals a marker once hidden, a chance meeting that now seems destined, a door that opens easily where others slammed it shut, the murmur of intuition guiding you past false leads. This is no ordinary journey, but a pilgrimage traced by the whispers of truth itself. With each forward motion, the map becomes clearer, the contours of your purpose emerging in living relief. You walk not into unknown territory, but onto terrain already consecrated by your ancestors' footsteps and your own soul's long-forgotten journey. As you move, you sense other souls awakening around you, kindreds whose hearts beat to the same divine frequency. They stir in distant lands and right beside you on the city streets, drawn by a current that cannot be named. Together, you form a tapestry of light. Soul tribes bound by unseen threads, linked in a divine alliance to uplift and protect one another. No longer must you shrink to blend into a fading paradigm. Your brightness, once dimmed by fear of rejection, now stands as a beacon calling others to their own truth. In this collective alignment, the power you wield is amplified, and your shared resonance reshapes the world around you. Now, feel the charge of responsibility thrumming through your core as you take command of your energy. This is not an exercise in ego, but an act of sacred stewardship. You set firm boundaries around your time, your attention, and your heart, honoring the temple that is your body and the spirit that animates it. Each choice becomes deliberate, where you invest your light, whom you allow into your circle, and how you steward the gift of presence. Like a high priest entrusted with ancient relics, you guard what matters most, knowing that in this devotion lies the power to catalyze miracles in the everyday. Everything you felt, the tremors of doubt, the surges of hope, the silent witness of your dreams, has led to this final rallying cry. You are ready. The fears that once shadowed your steps dissolve in the certainty of your calling, and the door opens wide with a single intentional breath. In your veins flows the life-giving spirit, echoing Romans 8 verse 11, reviving your mortal body with celestial purpose. You stand at the threshold not as one who might, but as one who will, stepping into a destiny you no longer question. Your summons to embodiment echoes now through heart and marrow. Rise up and inhabit the fullness of what you were created to be. This is not merely a message. It is a marching order to live boldly, love fiercely, and shine without apology. Comment embody if you feel the charge moving in your bones, and share a moment when you first sensed the old you making way for something greater. The journey continues, and the next revelation awaits just beyond this horizon, ready to unveil the cosmic mission you were born to fulfill. In the hush before dawn, you might catch a flicker of movement at the edge of your vision, an unspoken promise that the world you see is merely the surface of something far grander. This promise echoes deep within your bones, reminding you that the very air you breathe hums with intent. Every breath you draw has been sanctified by the same force that whispered creation into being. Feel the weight of that truth settling into your chest, like a seed taking root in fertile soil. You stand at the confluence of what was and what is stirring into life, and the momentum of your own awakening carries you beyond the horizon they tried to define for you. Imagine a tapestry woven in midnight threads, each stitch a dream you once dismissed in the glow of the morning sun. These threads converge now to reveal an image of your soul, a radiant guardian of thresholds between worlds. Like Joseph interpreting Pharaoh's dreams, you have decoded the patterns of your life to uncover hidden blessings in trials once thought meaningless. In your restlessness, you deciphered messages encoded in restless nights. In your joy, you recognized the footprints of grace. Now you see that your story has always been led by a divine weaver, orchestrating each twist and turn to prepare you for the role you were born to play. A quiet wind stirs the curtain at your window, carrying with it the scent of ancient forests and distant altars. This wind is the breath of those who came before, prophets, mystics, guardians, whose voices echo in the cadence of your heartbeat. When Elijah heard the still small voice, it was in the calm after chaos that he recognized his calling. In the same way, your spirit tunes itself to the echoes of those memories, awakening a lineage of wisdom that courses through your veins. Closing your eyes, you can feel the pulse of that sacred current, urging you to step into its flow with unwavering trust. In the mirror of your mind, you glimpse a vast landscape where time stretches like an unfolded scroll, revealing chapters you have yet to inhabit. This revelation carries the weight of prophecy. Your victories are already written, and your challenges are the crucible refining your destiny. As Isaiah 41 verse 10 declares, You need not fear, for you are upheld by a power ancient and unshakable. Each obstacle dissolves under the heat of your emerging resolve, and every moment of doubt becomes a stepping stone toward clarity. You move not at the mercy of chance, but in deliberate communion with forces that guide each footfall. Under the faint glow of streetlights or the soft gleam of a bedside lamp, your reflections deepen into a silent vow. You will no longer dim your light to conform to shadows. No longer will you align your rhythm to the shifting moods of those unprepared for your frequency. Instead, you summon the courage to stand firm, to radiate the brilliance that emanates from your center, and to invite others into the warmth of your illumination. In doing so, you spark a chain reaction, one luminous flicker at a time, awakening soul tribes who have awaited your spark to ignite their own. A single verse from the Book of Wisdom resonates in your core. For in much wisdom is much vexation, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 18. You have felt that vexation, the sting of knowing too much for a world unready to understand. Yet now you transform that sorrow into a catalyst for compassion. Your insights become beacons for the weary, guiding them out of confusion into the embrace of higher truth. This is the alchemy of your journey, turning the lead of isolation into the gold of shared awakening, forging a path of solidarity among those called to see beyond illusion. As the sun breaks fully over the horizon, you rise not merely as a survivor of inner battles, but as a sovereign steward of divine purpose. You carry within you the echoes of psalms sung in hidden chambers, the footprints of angels traversing lonely deserts, and the resilience of saints who faced darkness and emerged unscathed. Your transformation is both tribute and testament to their legacies. Now, with every measured breath and every decisive step, you honor that lineage by embodying the power that once lay dormant, waiting for your voice to release it. Listen, then, for the gentle thrum that now resonates through every cell of your being. It is the anthem of your cosmic mission, a melody older than time that only you can bring to fruition in this era. This is not a gentle whisper, but a clarion call. The world needs your courage, your clarity, and the vision that burns behind your eyes. Stand tall, knowing that in your rest you were armed, in your change you were crowned, and in this moment you are the living testament to what divine design can achieve. Comment aligned if you feel the tides of destiny guiding your steps, and share a personal reflection of when you first recognized the sacred threading through your life. The journey continues, and the next revelation awaits, ready to unveil the next dimension of your unfolding purpose. In a dream, you stand upon a vast plain beneath swirling auroras, each wave of light pulsing like a heartbeat through your veins. You feel the gentle thrum that now resonates through every cell of your being, an anthem older than time, waiting for your voice to bring it into the world. In that dreamscape, you sense yourself as a bridge between stars and soil, called to translate celestial harmonies into tangible hope. When morning breaks, the echo of that nocturnal melody follows you into daily routines. In the soft cadence of your morning prayer, in the deliberate pause before a challenging conversation, in the steady rhythm of your footsteps on crowded sidewalks. This is not an echo of fantasy, but the sovereign soundtrack of your cosmic mission, demanding that you carry its weight with both reverence and resolve. A vision splits the horizon like dawn cleaving night, revealing the faces of those who hunger for courage. Their eyes reflect every doubt you have ever harbored, yet burn with the same spark that ignited in your soul long ago. Their silent pleas for your clarity create a constellation of longing that stretches across industries, communities, and shaken families. You realize that your role is not merely to comfort but to catalyze, to step forward with uncompromising conviction when moral compasses falter. In boardroom negotiations where ethics are traded for profit, in living rooms where hope risks being drowned by defeatist gossip, your unwavering stance becomes a lodestar. The vision insists that your clarity is not an abstract virtue, but the substance through which lives reorient toward truth. You have felt the tremor in your bones and the call in your dreams. You have seen the warnings they placed in your path, and the gifts hidden in your pain. Now is the time to claim your place among the awakened. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you to all supporting members. For full prophetic revelations daily, Join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. They thought they could bury your gift, but you were born to rise.